Welcome back to Team Corrali Factory Insider. In last episode I hinted at some exciting plans to upgrade the Kagama 4 with some tuning parts. Well, today's the day. Alright, before we get started, let me quickly explain how I've split the upgrades. I've divided everything into few main areas, like drivetrain, shocks, suspension, steering, and a couple of extra tweaks. Each area focuses on making the Kagama 4 stronger, faster, or just more fun to drive. Oh, and don't worry, if you want to try this upgrade yourself, I've listed all the parts down in the video description. Before we dive into the upgrades, I want to highlight new Factory Pro tools. They are launched just a few days after the Kagama 4, so they might have flown under the radar. But let me tell you, these are now my go-to tools. They are absolutely stunning. The set includes the essential hex drivers and nut drivers, the body reamer, and a 17mm wheel wrench. I won't go too much into detail here. You can find more information at Corrali.com. Trust me, they are worth checking out. Here's the plan. I will start by taking the shocks off, then follow the one-page manuals for the front and rear gearbox cases. This lets me open up the diffs and access most of the suspension components at the same time. After that, I will tackle the center gearbox and motor mount. Then move to the battery tray, steering system, and finally the servo and receiver box. Now, to save time, I'm going to skip some of the repetitive wrenching on the camera. Instead, I will focus on the tuning parts themselves. What they are, why I choose them, and how they make a difference. Let's get started. Alright, step 1. Drivetrain tuning. I've already disassembled everything and installed the upgrade. So let me go through each part and why it's here. First of all, do you need to upgrade the drivetrain? Well, if you're sticking to 4S, probably not. The stock components can handle it just fine. But let's be real, we are not stopping at 4S, no way. Let's start with the CNC gears. That's how they look like. That's the old one. Alright. These are essential if you are planning to go 6S. Remember, both the input and the output gears need to be replaced as a pair to keep everything meshing perfectly. On 4S, I would say stick with the casted gears until they wear out, then upgrade to CNC. Next up, spring steel outdrives. The black stock outdrives are okay for 4S, but once you jump to 6S, they will wear out too fast. Spring steel is a must-have for durability under higher loads. The center diff case, absolutely worth upgrading. It deals with the most heat and stress, so the aluminum helps keep things cooler and more stable. As for the front and rear cases, they are not as crucial. They don't overheat as much, so you could skip them unless you are looking for an ultimate build. Now let's talk about differential oil setups, because it's something I like to experiment with. We usually use 3 cars for filmings because we have 3 colors available. And since we've got all 3, I like to use 3 different setups. It's a great way to test how each configuration performs and see what works best in different conditions. I typically go with soft setup of 20k front, 50k center, 10k rear. Great for sharp turns and tight handling. Medium setup, that's the stock one, 30k front, 100k center, 20k rear. This is the most universal setup and works on almost any terrain and driving style. Hard setup, 75k front, 250k center and 50k rear. This is perfect for hardcore use, big stunts, high-speed bashing, where you need maximum stability. For this build, I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm keeping the front and rear diffs at stock values 30k and 20k, but I've bumped the center diff up to 250k. This should provide more stability and control under heavy loads and during high power runs. Most of our action videos are shot with the stock medium setup, but I'm excited to see how this new tweak handles. For this build, I decided to give the Kagama 4 a serious suspension upgrade. The stock shocks work great for most situations, but I always wanted to try aluminium ones on this platform. Honestly, never done it before, but based on my experience with other cars, I know they will perform really well here. I've gone with ready-built aluminum Spark XB6 shocks. This comes with a Hades shock end already installed, so they are good to go right out of the box. On top of that, I added hard springs. While the stock medium springs are great for general bashing, hard springs really shine when you start sending it big. If you are hitting big jumps or going for more aggressive driving, they are the way to go. Now let's talk about oils. Just like with the diff, I like to run 3 setups to suit different styles. Soft setup, 400 in front, 300 in the rear, perfect for sharp turns and lighter handling. Medium setup, the stock one, 600 in front, 500 in the rear. This is the best all-around option for bashing and mixed terrain. Hard setup, 800 in front, 700 in the rear. Great for heavy stunts, big landings, and when you want to firmer feel. For this build, I'm sticking with the stock medium setup. 600 front, 500 rear. It's my favorite because it works so well across different conditions. It gives you a balanced feel that's responsive without being too stiff. Alright, now it's time to talk about the suspension upgrades. If you are driving casually or sticking the stock power, the standard suspension components are fine. But if you are pushing the car harder, bigger jumps, higher speeds or tighter turns, these upgrades will make a noticeable difference. First up, I switched the stock suspension arms for the Spark XB6 arms. These are stronger, stiffer, which helps the car handle impacts better while keeping the geometry consistent. They are a great upgrade if you are bashing hard or driving on a rough terrain. Next, we added the adjustable turnbuckles. This lets you fine-tune the suspension geometry for things like camber and toe. Is it needed for a basher? Absolutely not. And I do prefer fixed links. But if we go all in, let's go all in. I've also added roll bars to improve cornering performance. These help reduce body roll, keeping the car more planted during high-speed turns. They are not essential for all driving styles, but if you're after precision handling, they are a fantastic option. Last but not least, suspension braces. Really, not much to say. Just the durability upgrade. I only replace the composite ones to the same as Spark. Should I try full alu block from my Kagama? Well, maybe, but I do not feel it's necessary here. Should you upgrade? If you are driving at moderate speeds and not taking huge risk, you can get by with the stock suspension. But if you are going crazy or just want extra adjustability, these upgrades are well worth it. And that's it. Should you upgrade? If you are driving at moderate speeds and not taking huge risk, you can get by with the stock suspension. But if you are going crazy or just want the extra adjustability, these upgrades are well worth it. Alright, let's talk steering. Honestly, the stock steering system in the Kagama 4 is already solid. If this were Synchro 4, I would absolutely recommend upgrading to double-deck steering system. But guess what? The Kagama 4 already comes with it. So, what's left to upgrade? The only parts you can really upgrade are the Swiss 7075 servo arm, this one, and the Swiss 7075 steering deck, this one. They are precision machine and definitely stronger than the stock parts. But here's the thing. Do you really need them? In my opinion, probably not. I've never bent a single stock part in the system, even under heavy use. For me, these upgrades are more like peace of mind gimmick than a necessity. Sure, if you want extra blink factor or you are running insane power, it's nice to have. But for most of us, the stock parts are more than enough. The Kagama 4 motor mount is great. It offers 3 fixed pinion positions for most driver. This setup is more than enough. It's simple, effective, and keeps everything in place without any guesswork. I decided to go with a Skeeter motor mount for this build. And here's why. It offers full adjustability. I've noticed a lot of bashers prefer having that extra freedom to fine-tune their gear mesh. Whether you are experimenting with different pinion sizes or just want more control, the Skeeter mount gives you that. For me, it's no-brainer for a custom build like this. Next, I added the Swiss 7075 center diff bulkhead. Let's be honest, this upgrade is more about the blink factor than necessity. The composite bulkhead that comes stock is more than capable of handling the job. And I don't think many of you will ever have issues with overheating your central diff. But if you're like me and enjoy a bit of extra shine under the hood, this is a fun addition. Alright, we are almost there. Let's talk about those last few upgrades that tie everything together. This might seem small, but they can make a big difference in performance. First up, I've added this CS5245 HV, a 45 kg high torque servo. This thing is absolute powerhouse, delivering quick and precise steering even under heavy loads. It's no-brainer upgrade if you are building something as insane as this. For me, it's a must-have. Next, I swapped the original battery straps for heavy-duty ones. Why? Well, if you are driving hard like me, crashes are certain. These straps make sure that the battery stays secure no matter what kind of wild landings you are pulling off. Now, cooling usually isn't my thing. I don't mind taking short breaks during a session if the things get a little bit warm. But we've got a lot of questions about cooling through our support portal, so here's one factory solution. All you need is 30mm fan, a composite case, few screws and some zip ties. That's it. It's simple, easy to install and gets the job done. By the way, have you checked our support.corally.com? It's a fantastic resource where you can find all the documents, manuals, and most importantly, get help from professionals. Whether you are looking for detailed guides or need expert advice, it's definitely worth a visit. Alright, let's wrap up this build. Alright, that wraps up the build. As you can see, there are few things to be done, but that's for the next episode. Just look at it. It's an absolute beast now, and I have to say the Kagama 4 has never looked better. With all these upgrades, it's not just about the looks. This car is now built to handle anything we throw at it. In the next episode of Team Corally Factory Insider, we will take it out for its first run. We will start with Forest setup and compare it directly to the stock Kagama 4 to see how all of these upgrades perform. I simply can't wait. But is there anything you will add? Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to check out the links in the description for all the parts and tools I used today. See you in the next Team Corally Factory Insider. Bash on, friends!